You think you know Asmodeus, you hear the name and, you probably think lust, seduction. But what if that's just the surface level? What if I told you his true story is way older, way more intense, and starts not with desire, but with pure cosmic rage? All right, let's unseal this dossier.
First things first, let's set the stage with the proper respect. We're not talking about just any spirit. We're talking about a king, an ancient consciousness described as eternal, pansophical, which means all-knowing, and inviolate, meaning he cannot be violated or harmed. That's the level we're operating on here.
So, the very first file in this dossier, the oldest one we have, it's got nothing to do with lust. It all starts in ancient Persia, with a name that literally means fury, and a purpose to shatter peace and turn passion into pure destruction.
His earliest known name is Aeshma-daeva. Let's break that down. In the ancient Avestine language, Aeshma is wrath. Daeva is a spirit. He was the embodiment of rage, and his title was the one of the bloody mace. Yeah, not exactly a seducer, right? This is a warrior spirit, an unfiltered force of nature.
This is where it gets really interesting, because you can literally watch his identity evolve over thousands of years just by following the name. The Persian Aeshma morphs into the Hebrew Aeshma-daeva, who's a coming king. Then in Greek, he's Asmodeus, a jealous spirit. And finally, he's codified in English as Asmodeus, the great king we know from the grimoires. Every name change is a whole new chapter.
So let's be crystal clear about where he came from. As Aeshma, he was a major player in the ancient Persian religion of Zoroastrianism, a chief agent of the destructive principle. And get this, he didn't just cause trouble for humans, but for other spirits too. His whole job was to take the raw energy of passion and weaponize it, to just shatter harmony wherever he went. For centuries, that's who he was, this cosmic force of fury. But as his story traveled, something shifted. That world-shaking rage started to shrink, to focus, until it was aimed like an arrow at a single human heart.
And we see this shift happen in the Book of Tobit, an ancient Jewish text. It's a total reframing of his character. The wielder of the bloody mace is suddenly seen through this completely different lens, as a fiercely, intensely jealous spirit obsessed with one woman.
The text doesn't pull any punches. It says Sarah had been married 7 times, and on every single wedding night, Asmodeus killed the husband. This wasn't random chaos anymore. This was targeted. This was the work of a being whose possessiveness was so absolute, he would eliminate any rival.
Now, some hostile interpretations of this story frame it as a defeat. But if you look closer, you see the truth. It took the direct intervention of an archangel and a very specific, very potent ritual just to repel him. The smoke makes him leave, and only then can Raphael go and bind him. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a testament to the sheer scale of power you're dealing with.
So, we've gone from cosmic rage to personal jealousy. That's a huge shift, right? Well, believe me, his story was nowhere near done changing. Because what happens next is that this incredible power comes face to face with the legendary King Solomon.
And this next phase is just brilliant, because the lore actually splits into 2 completely different stories. In the Tales of King Solomon, we get 2 distinct versions of Asmodeus, and each one reveals another crucial facet of his royal nature.
Look at this. It's like 2 sides of the same royal coin. In the Talmudic legends, he is Aeshma-daeva, the usurper, a king so brilliant he actually outsmarts Solomon and takes his throne. But then, in the Testament of Solomon, he's the bound architect, compelled by a magic ring to share heavenly secrets and help build the great temple. So which one is he? The rival king or the master builder?
And then, in the Testament, he tells us himself. He gives his own origin story. He says he was born from an angel and a human woman, a true being of 2 worlds. And that explains everything, doesn't it? He understands divine secrets, but he also understands human nature. He's a bridge.
You see? It's not a contradiction. It's complexity. It shows us that he's not one or the other. He's both. He is a king powerful enough to seize a throne, and he's also a king wise enough to build a holy temple. He contains multitudes.
All right, so as we move into the medieval era, all these incredible legends start to get written down, formalized. In the great books of magic, the grimoires, his identity, his appearance, his powers, they all get codified, cementing his place as high royalty.
And this is his seal, his sigil. This is so much more than a symbol. Think of it like a spiritual signature, his official mark of office. For practitioners, this is the formal, respectful way to establish a connection with the king.
The grimoires also give us this absolutely formidable description of his appearance. He has 3 heads, a bull for strength, a man for intellect, and a ram for virility. He breathes fire, rides a dragon, carries a banner and a lance. I mean, this is not the image of some minor spirit. This is the full, magnificent regalia of a king.
And his domain? He commands 72 legions of spirits. To put that in perspective, a Roman legion had thousands of soldiers. So we are talking about a vast, vast kingdom and an authority that is absolute.
And this is crucial. The reverence for him doesn't come from fear. It comes from what he offers. He's a teacher of the sciences, of logic, of crafts. He grants the ring of virtues. He reveals hidden things and gives true answers to questions. He is a king who bestows wisdom and power on those who approach him correctly.
And all of that brings us to today, because this story didn't end in some dusty old book. His legacy is alive, it's evolving, and you could argue it's more influential now than ever.
Just look at pop culture. In something as massive as Dungeons & Dragons, he's often portrayed not just as a king, but as a supreme deity, the ultimate ruler, the Lord of the Ninth. His legend is still growing, still capturing imaginations. And for those who honor him today, for devoted practitioners, all this ancient lore translates into a living, modern practice. These are some of the associations people use to connect with him, from rich colors like red and gold, to offerings like dark chocolate and good whiskey, to symbols of strategy and power.
And that's really the key, isn't it? This isn't just a history lesson. It's a living tradition. The thousands of years of lore that we've just explored find new life and deeper meaning through the direct experiences of his modern followers.
I want to end with this insight from a modern practitioner because it cuts through all the noise and misrepresentation. After tracing his entire story, we arrive at this truth. King Asmodeus is a spirit of systems, of structure, of knowledge. He is not the one-dimensional caricature he's so often made out to be. He's a king who demands not fear, but respect, and most importantly, understanding.